The year is 2025. A group of 10 astronauts, the best minds Earth has to offer, embark on a daring mission to explore a distant galaxy. Little do they know, their journey will take a terrifying turn. A blinding flash of light, the chilling sensation of weightlessness. When their senses return, they find themselves staring into the cold, unblinking eyes of extraterrestrial beings. These aliens, with their advanced technology and inscrutable motives, have a peculiar fascination with human intelligence. They present a challenge, a test of logic that will determine the astronauts' fate. Failure means certain doom. Success, a chance to return home. The stakes couldn't be higher. The astronauts are lined up single file, ordered by height. The tallest in the back, the shortest in the front. They're each given a hat, randomly assigned either black or white. The catch: they cannot see their own hat. The rules of the game are simple yet terrifying. Starting from the back of the line, each astronaut must guess the color of their own hat. They can only say one word, black or white. No other communication is allowed. No winks, no nods, no secret handshakes. Their alien captors are masters of deception. Any attempt at trickery will be met with swift and brutal punishment. To survive, at least 9 out of 10 astronauts must guess their hat color correctly. A single mistake beyond that, and the aliens, with their chilling lack of empathy, will end their lives. Fear grips the hearts of the astronauts. The odds seem insurmountable. How can they possibly succeed when they can't see their own hats? Time is ticking away. The fate of humanity rests on their shoulders. The astronauts are granted a brief period to strategize before the guessing begins. Whispering amongst themselves, they desperately search for a solution. A glimmer of hope in this deadly game of chance. As the astronauts huddle together, their minds racing, they realize that brute force guessing won't save them. The odds are simply too high. They need a strategy, a way to convey information without directly communicating it. But how can they possibly do that with such limited options? Just when hope begins to dwindle, one of the astronauts, a brilliant mathematician named Dr. Lewis, remembers a concept from his studies: parity. Parity, in its simplest form, refers to whether a number is even or odd. Dr. Lewis realizes that they can use this concept to their advantage, turning the seemingly impossible into a game of strategy. The astronauts listen intently as Dr. Lewis explains his idea. He believes they can use the concept of parity, the evenness or oddness of the number of black or white hats, to send a coded message down the line. At first, his companions are skeptical. Can something so simple really outsmart these advanced aliens? Dr. Lewis, with quiet confidence, explains how parity can be their saving grace. He proposes that they focus on the number of black hats. The person in the back of the line, who can see everyone else's hats, will be the key. They will use their one-word answer not to guess their own hat color, but to convey the parity of black hats they see in front of them. If the person in the back sees an even number of black hats, they will say black, indicating even parity. If they see an odd number of black hats, they will say white, indicating odd parity. This initial guess might be incorrect about their own hat color, but it will carry a vital piece of information for the rest of the astronauts. This single word, black or white, becomes more than just a guess. It becomes a beacon of hope, a coded message that will guide the rest of the astronauts to safety. The fate of humanity now hinges on their understanding and execution of this simple yet brilliant strategy. Section 5. Cracking the code. How parity works. Let's imagine the hats have been distributed and Dr. Lewis, the tallest astronaut, is at the back of the line. He looks ahead and sees 3 black hats in front of him. 3 is an odd number, so he calls out white. He knows his own hat could be either black or white, but that's not what's important right now. What matters is that he has successfully conveyed the odd parity of black hats to his fellow astronauts. The next astronaut in line, let's call her Maria, hears Dr. Lewis's call of white and immediately understands its significance: odd parity. She then looks at the astronauts in front of her and counts the number of black hats. If she sees an even number, she knows that her own hat must be black to make the total number of black hats odd. If she sees an odd number, she knows her hat must be white to maintain the odd parity. Maria sees two black hats in front of her. Since the parity is odd, and she sees an even number, she knows her hat must be black. She confidently calls out black. This process continues down the line, each astronaut using the initial parity information from Dr. Lewis and their own observations to deduce their hat color. With each correct guess, the tension in the spaceship ratchets up a notch, the air thick with anticipation and a glimmer of hope. Section 6. A matter of life and death. Applying the strategy. Let's say Maria, after hearing white and seeing two black hats, correctly deduces that her own hat must be black. She confidently calls out black. The next astronaut, David, hears white, odd parity, and sees only one black hat in front of him. He knows that for the total number of black hats to be odd, he must be wearing a black hat as well. He takes a deep breath and confidently announces, black. This logic cascades down the line, each astronaut using the initial parity call and their own observations to determine their hat color. The aliens watch, their unblinking eyes betraying no emotion, as the humans employ this simple yet effective strategy to unravel their seemingly impossible challenge. With each correct guess, the astronauts inch closer to freedom, their initial terror giving way to a cautious hope. The silence in the spaceship is broken only by the astronauts' voices, each black or white echoing with the weight of their potential salvation. Section 7. The power of observation, deducing from others. As the line progresses, the astronauts realize that the further down they are, the easier the deduction becomes. The last astronaut in line, for example, only needs to know the initial parity call and whether the person in front of them guessed correctly. If the parity and the previous guess match, they know they have the opposite color hat. If they don't match, they have the same color hat. This strategy, while elegant in its simplicity, highlights the power of observation and deduction. Even though each astronaut can only see a limited amount of information, by working together and using the initial parity call as a guide, they can piece together the puzzle and secure their survival. The tension in the spaceship reaches its peak as the last astronaut prepares to make their guess. All eyes are on them, their lives hanging in the balance. Section 8. Guaranteed survival, the limits of parity. The parity strategy, while ingenious, does have one small limitation. The first astronaut, Dr. Lewis, who makes the initial parity call, has a 50-50 chance of guessing his own hat color correctly. His call is based solely on the hats he sees in front of him, not his own. However, this is a small price to pay for the near-certain survival of the rest of the group. The parity strategy guarantees that at least 9 out of the 10 astronauts will guess correctly, ensuring their safe return to Earth. The aliens, true to their word, allow the surviving astronauts to return to their ship. As they depart, the astronauts can't help but wonder about the true purpose of the test. Was it simply a cruel game, or was there a deeper message hidden within the challenge? Section 9. The aliens' riddle solved, a triumph of human ingenuity. The astronauts' successful escape from the alien spaceship stands as a testament to the power of human ingenuity, collaboration, and logical thinking. Faced with insurmountable odds, they managed to turn a seemingly impossible situation into a triumph of human intellect. The hat game and the parity strategy serve as a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there is always hope. By working together, thinking critically, and never giving up, we can overcome even the most daunting challenges. As the astronauts journey back to Earth, they carry with them not just the relief of survival, but the profound understanding that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective ones. The aliens watch the spaceship disappear into the vastness of space. What they make of the human race and their ability to overcome such odds, we can only imagine. The riddle of the hat game may be solved, but the mystery of the aliens and their intentions remains, a lingering question mark in the vast cosmic tapestry.